Snowflake Bentley by Jacqueline Briggs Martin. In the days when farmers worked with ox and sled and cut the dark with lantern light, there lived a boy who loved snow more than anything else in the world.
Willie Bentley's happiest days were snowstorm days. He watched the snowflake fall on his mittens, on the dried grass of Vermont farm fields, on the dark metal handle of the barn door.
He said snow was as beautiful as butterflies or apple blossoms.
He could net butterflies and show them to his older brother Charlie. He could pick apple blossoms and take them to his mother.
But he could not share snowflakes because he could not save them.
When his mother gave him an old microscope, he used it to look at flowers, raindrops, and blades of grass.
Best of all, he used it to look at snow.
Other children built forts and pelted snowballs at roosting crows. Willie was catching single snowflakes.
Day after stormy day, he studied the ice crystal.
Interlight patterns were even more beautiful than he had imagined.
He expected to find whole flakes that were the same, that were copies of each other.
But he never did.
Willie decided he must find a way to save snowflakes so others could see their wonderful designs.
3 winters he tried drawing snow crystals. They always melted before he could finish.
When he was 16, Willie read of a camera with its own microscope.
If I had that camera, I could photograph snowflakes, Willie told his mother.
Willie's mother knew he would not be happy until he could share what he had seen.
Fussing with snow is just foolishness, his father said.
Still, he loved his son. When Willie was 17, his parents spent their savings and bought the camera.
It was taller than a newborn calf and cost as much as his father's herd of 10 cows.
Will was sure it was the best of all cameras.
Even so, his first pictures were failures, no better than shadows.
Yet he would not quit.
Mistake by mistake, snowflake by snowflake, Willie worked through every storm.
Winter ended, the snow melted, and he had no good pictures.
He waited for another season of snow.
One day in the second winter, he tried a new experiment.
It worked.
Willie had figured out how to photograph snowflakes.
Now everyone can see the great beauty in a tiny crystal,
He said.
But in those days, no one cared.
Neighbors laughed at the idea of photographing snow.
In Vermont, it's as common as dirt. We don't need pictures,
they said.
Willie said the photographs would be his gift to the world.
While other farmers sat by the fire or rode to town with horse and sleigh, Willie studied snowstorms.
He stood at the shed door and held out a black tray to catch the flakes.
When he found only jumbo broken crystals, he brushed the tray clean with a turkey feather and held it out
He
again.
waited for hours for just the right crystal and didn't notice the cold.
The shed were warm, the snow would melt. If he breathed on the black tray, the snow would melt. If he had twitched a muscle as he held the snow crystal on the long wooden peg, the snowflake would break.
He had to work fast or the snowflake would evaporate before he could slide it into place and take its picture.
Some winters he was able to make only a few dozen good pictures.
Some winters he made hundreds.
Willie so loved the beauty of nature, he took pictures in all seasons.
In the summer, his niece and nephew rubbed coat hangers with sticky pitch from spruce trees when Willie could use them to pick up spider webs filled with water droplets and take their pictures.
All nights he would gently tie a grasshopper to a flower so he could find it in the morning and photograph the dew-covered insect.
His snow pictures were always his favorite.
He gave away copies or sold them for a few
He
cents.
made special pictures as gifts for birthdays.
He held even slideshows on the lawns of his friends. Children and adults sat on the grass and watched while Willie projected his slides onto a sheet hung over a closet.
He wrote about snow and published his pictures in magazines.
Gave speeches about snow to faraway scholars and neighborhood sky
The
watchers.
little farmer came to be known as the world's expert on snow, the Snowflake Man.
But he never grew rich.
He spent every penny on his pictures. Willie said, there were treasure in snow.
I can't afford to miss a single snowstorm. I never know when I will find some wonderful prize.
But the scientists raised money so Willie could gather his best photographs and upload. When he was 66 years old, Willie's books, his gift to the world, was published.
Still, he was not ready to quit.
Less than a month after turning the first page in his book, Willie walked 6 miles home in a blizzard to make more pictures.
He became ill with pneumonia after that walk and died 2 weeks
A
later.
monument was built for Willie in the center of town.
The girls and boys who had been his neighbors grew up and told their sons and daughters of the man who loved snow.
40 years after Wilson Bentley's death, children in his village worked to set up a museum in honor of the farmer scientist.
And his book has taken the delicate snow crystals that once blew across Vermont past mountains over the earth.
Of the icy wonders that land on their own mittens thanks to Snowflake Bentley.
And this is the story of Snowflake Bentley by
Ryan.
Maya.
Carmen,
Ramon.
Duncan,
Shamaran. Sean.